All right, let's do this. We're about to count down the 5 deadliest moments in human history. I'm talking about the 5 times our entire species, and that means you, came unbelievably close to just not making it, to being wiped out. Let's jump in.
Look, this isn't some dusty history lesson. This is your story. It's the story of how you, against every single odd, are here right now. Because, if you look at the statistics, you probably shouldn't be.
I want you to really think about this for a second. Your family tree goes way, way back. It's this incredible, unbroken chain of survival, stretching back thousands upon thousands of years. And if any single person in that chain, right back to some ancestor huddled in a cave trying not to get eaten, had one bad day, one wrong step, poof, you're gone. You wouldn't exist.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? You're not just lucky, you're the end result of so much chaos and improbable survival. So let's count down the 5 times history almost broke that chain and see just how close you really came to never being born.
Okay, so first up, we're diving into 2 ancient hurdles that nearly ended our story before it even got going. We're talking about the brutal cold of a frozen world and a supposedly brilliant idea that, well, it backfired. Big time.
So, coming in at number 5 on our list, the last ice age. We're going back about 20,000 years to a time called the last glacial maximum. And let me tell you, Earth was not exactly a welcoming place to live.
Just try to imagine this. Huge parts of the planet are covered in ice sheets, like 2 miles thick. Your only job every single day is to not freeze to death. Your brilliant plan for dinner? Taking on a 6-ton woolly mammoth with a sharpened stick. And forget about doctors. A simple cut gets infected, and that's it. You're done. And yet somehow, against all of that, your ancestors figured it out and survived.
All right, let's move on to number 4. Now, this one's gonna sound a little weird. It's the invention of farming. Around 10,000 years ago, we had this great idea to stop chasing our food and just grow it. Turns out, this was the moment humanity accidentally made life so much harder.
I mean, the difference is just wild. As hunter-gatherers, we had all sorts of different foods and we were spread out. But as soon as we started farming, we all crowded together into these little villages. And you know what loves crowds? Disease. Our diets got worse. Lots of carbs, not much protein, leading to things like rotten teeth and weak bones. And the scariest part? If your one big crop failed, the whole village starved.
So, we somehow survived the natural world, but as we started building civilizations, we just invented newer, and honestly, even deadlier ways to threaten our own existence. Our number 3 spot takes us to the 13th century. Picture this, you're going about your day, and you see a cloud of dust on the horizon. If you lived back then, you knew you had maybe 3 minutes to panic before the Mongol Empire completely erased your entire world.
Under Genghis Khan, the Mongols were just terrifyingly good at what they did. Their whole strategy was this insane mix of lightning-fast cavalry and just absolute brutality. They didn't just conquer cities, they literally wiped them off the map, slaughtered everyone. And if you were lucky enough to survive, you might just get used as a human shield in the next battle. It was psychological warfare on a scale the world had never seen.
To put this into perspective, it's estimated that the Mongol invasions killed about 10% of the entire world's population at the time. 10%! It's a staggering number. And one of your ancestors saw that cloud of dust and somehow made it out alive.
But it gets worse. At number 2 on our list is an enemy you couldn't see, you couldn't fight. In 1347, the Black Death showed up in Europe, carried by fleas on rats, and it was like a biological wildfire.
The devastation was almost total. The plague wiped out nearly half of everyone in Europe in just a few years. Think about that. Entire towns just empty. Survival was a complete lottery. You could get it from a handshake, from breathing the wrong air. And yet there it is, your ancestor was in that surviving half. So, we faced ice, we faced starvation, we faced empires and plagues, but the number 1 spot on our list, this is the one. This is the moment our species was brought to the absolute brink of extinction. This was our darkest hour.
The single worst time to be a human being was 74,000 years ago. That's when the Toba Supervolcano in what's now Indonesia erupted and nearly pressed the delete button on humanity.
The scale here is it's hard to even wrap your head around. Toba shot over 670 cubic miles of ash into the atmosphere. It completely blocked out the sun. For maybe 10 years.
This kicked off a volcanic winter, and global temperatures crashed by as much as 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
For the few humans alive, it was a literal apocalypse. Plants died, animals starved. The entire food chain just collapsed. Imagine living your entire life in a freezing, dark world, starving, wondering if you'll ever see the sun again.
And this is the most important number in our whole story. After Toba, scientists estimate the entire human population on Earth dropped to fewer than 3,000 individuals. 3,000 people. That's it. That's how close we came.
But we didn't disappear. That tiny group of survivors, freezing in the dark, they just held on. And their legacy is the most important one there is, because their legacy is you.
This event created what's called a genetic bottleneck. What that means is that every single person on this planet today, all 8 billion of us, you, me, everybody, we are all direct descendants of that tiny, desperate group of survivors. We are literally all the children of the toughest people who have ever lived.
So remember that your life is not some random thing. Your existence is the prize. You are the miracle that your ancestors survived ice ages and famines and plagues and supervolcanoes for. They literally survived the end of the world just so that one day you could be here. You are the newest link in this impossibly long, impossibly strong chain of survival. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? After everything they went through to get you here, what will your link in that chain be?